Okay, here is the project for today. We're just going to make this sweet little bookmark, and it's quilted. So it's kind of made quilt as you go. I make these a few different ways, but this is another method. This one is basically stitch and flip. So I'm going to put pieces on, stitch it, flip it, press it down. So the other thing, I sell a bag of bits that you can get in my online shop. I'll put that link below. These are all feed sack scraps, and inside that bag are feed sack scraps and sometimes some trim, some rickrack. There is also maybe a few pieces of fusible interfacing. So this has a little bit of a stick. It's just temporary. So it's going to help us to hold those pieces so we can get them sewn down. I love fusible, but you don't have to use fusible interfacing. And like I said, just use the scraps you have, but if you want feed sacks, they are in my shop. So I'm gonna put you down at my machine and I will talk you through this. It's really very simple and there are no rules. Just do it your way. Okay, let's get started. All right, this is the bookmark we're gonna make. It's gonna look like something like this. This is not the exact one we're going to make, but it will look something like this. So it has a front and a back. It's quilted. It's quilt as you go on the front, and then things are added afterwards. And then I've already quilted the back side, and then when I'm all done, I'm gonna sandwich that together, press it, sew it, and then trim the edges, pink the edges, however you like. So that's the final product, and let me show you how it starts. So I keep a bunch of feed sack trims and bits, and I have all kinds of goodies. I have this bag, 4-ounce bag of feed sack bits in my online shop, which I'll link below in the description, but you can certainly use your own trim and bits, but this is feed sack. So if you're interested in true feed sacks, grab yourself one of those bags. All right, so I start out with a piece of fusible batting, and in that little bag are a few strips of fusible for you to try. You don't have to use fusible, but I like fusible because when we stick it, so when we heat it, you do not want to have your iron touch the fusible though, because it'll gook up your iron. So when you press it to this, it'll hold on, but you can peel it right off. So it's just a temporary stick. It helps to be able to, hold things while you stitch, while you quilt, and I just like it a lot. So I've pulled out, we're gonna go pink today. I've pulled out all these little pink strips. They're just small. They don't have to be anything large. They're probably 2.5 inches by anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch to 2 inches. And we're just gonna trim as we go along. And there really is no rhyme or reason to it. Don't work too hard at it. Don't think too hard. So let's get started. I think I will start, let's start at the top, maybe with this one. All right, so I'm just gonna set that one there, press it on, and then let's come along with a light. So then I'm gonna put right sides together, and it won't matter where or how far this goes. I'm just gonna try and cover the middle, and then when I'm all done, I will do the trimming. So I'm just going to stitch that with about an 1/8 inch seam. It doesn't need to be very big. I am on a green featherweight. Everyone will say, what are you stitching on? And I am on my favorite little green featherweight. It's painted. I got it a few years ago. She is my baby. I love her. All right, so you've put right sides together, and then you're just gonna flip it down, press it down. Okay, you do not have to follow the shape or size or anything of that strip. So now I'm gonna just go along kind of random, wiggling back and forth, because I don't really like things straight, but certainly if you want yours straight, you can do that. And I'm gonna just stitch along this line. And you'll probably ask me what that little thing is, and it is a Oh, it's a little stick-on thread breaker. I'll put the link for that in the description below. It's fine, it adheres to this metal. Not gonna hurt my machine at all. So there, I pull that down, stitch and flip, give it a press. All right, at this point, sometimes somewhere in the middle, and these are just my things that I have, so I don't put these in my feed sack bits, but every now and then they do show up. But I just find just a small piece of embroidery. You can embroider it yourself if you don't have embroideries. But again, I'm just gonna stitch and flip, right sides down. Thing with a featherweight, you gotta have all your threads just right. You gotta hold your thread when you start. Oh, like I don't think I did right there. Okay, again. You can set those if you like. I kind of like to do that. And then stitch, flip it down, press it. So now you've got a focal point, you've got embroidery, something in the middle that makes it just kind of fun. Like on this one. So this is a stamp. So it's just a little stamp that has that wording, and I stamped it on linen, heat set it, cut it out, pulled the threads, and then hand stitched that on. So that's kind of my focal point on that one. All right, back to this. So we're that far down, let's pick another one. Let's go with that. So again, right sides together, and I'm gonna try and go up here just a little bit and make sure I cover that piece. Again, I'm gonna kind of press that, then flip it. Give that a press. All right, are you getting it? See how simple that is? Okay, let's pick another one. I'm gonna go with something kind of light. Put that right sides together. Again, I'm going to set that, then roll it. And you can make these as long, as short, whatever you need them to be. So this is what we have so far. And I'm just going to go with one more piece. Let's go with, let's see. Let's go with this one. Again, I'm gonna heat set that, roll it. Okay, we're at the end. Let's see what we have. So that's what we have. Of course, that's kind of what it looks like. Now at this point, if you need to see the shape, then I would suggest just going on the back side and giving it a rough cut. This is not our final cut because we are going to do a pinking on the edge. I always make it a little bit bigger than what I want it to be. So that's just a rough cut. Let's get these threads out of here. All right. At this point, I will put trims on. So trim can be whatever you have. Again, rickrack, Well, I've got this that came off of the embroidery, so I have this little piece. So let's maybe cut this. Just a rough cut. Actually, I might put that along there. Let's move that up. So this is where my glue comes in handy. So I may just put a trim there and some rickrack up here. Maybe some more rickrack. Maybe some right there. Sometimes I'll trim on, let's see, on this one I trim the whole, almost the whole thing, right? But I've got finished edges, so I don't really need to. So let's just take the glue. So what I do not do, I do not stitch down rickrack. I use beads to hold down rickrack. So I'm gonna put some glue along there. I'm gonna set my trim right on that seam. Then I'm gonna take a hot iron. And when you use glue, I like to use clear Elmer's washable school glue. And then you heat set it, it is stuck. All right, so that's there. And now I can easily work on the beading on my lap. Let's put another piece on. Well, let's go with that one. I don't want them too close together, so let's glue. I just go along the seam and lay that. All right, like that. And let's go here at the top. That's very white. Maybe I'll go along here. Now this one I might stitch just because I kind of like that one there. Okay, let's do this. So let's run this along here. Because this is a crocheted piece, it's kind of got some, it's lacy. I'm gonna run this right along here. And then I am gonna stitch right along this edge up there. So I'm gonna heat set that. That right there, and then I'm going to come along and put that one, that big heavier rickrack right there. And again, I'm not going to stitch that for now. I'm just going to glue it, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put some teeny tiny beads. Show you what those look like. Let's see if we can see the beading. It's really hard to see on the camera, but I've got tiny beads there, got tiny beads right there. You can see I stitched along that seam. I stitched along that seam. And then up here is a cute, teeny, tiny little doily with a bead, with a button. All right, so let's keep going. So I've pressed that, look, everything's adhered. So all your trim, all your embellishing is done after you've put all those pieces on. Let's stitch this one right here. I said, you don't need to be exact at this point because it doesn't matter. We're going to trim up that whole edge. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And I'm going to go over to my cutting board and we're going to trim this up. All right? Be back in a minute. At this point, I am going to pretend that I've done all my embellishing. So let's say I've done all the beading, and I like to do that now because I've just got this backing that I want to hide. So let's say I've done all the beading, all the embellishing, everything I want to stitch by hand. I might even do some hand stitching in here with some floss. And then I'm going to lay this on a backing that I already have ready. So I have this nice quilted piece. I've already quilted it. So this was quilted again on the fusible batting. You don't have to have fusible, but it is kind of nice to work with. So I'm going to take the backing and let's say the already finished bookmark, and I'm going to come over here. Let's start from the back, and I'm going to press, because remember this is fusible batting, I'm going to give this a little bit of heat so these will stick together. And if I'm going to give it a lot of heat, I'm going to use a pressing cloth. All right, and I just have cut up a pressing cloth. I do have pressing cloths for sale in my online shop as well, but you don't want to scorch your piece, right? So I'm just giving this heat so this will stick together just temporarily so I can get this cut and stitched. All right. So see, I've got this together, it's sandwiched, just like that. Now, I'm gonna take this neat little tool, which this is a pinking rotary cutter, and that's because of this blade. So it will do exactly what my pinking scissors will do, which you can use pinking scissors as well. But I like this because I can get it extremely straight and I can get the shape just like I want it. So we're gonna just use just a template. And when you use this kind of cutter, you want to push straight down. You don't want to go into it. You don't want to turn it. You have to go straight down to get the cut exactly right. And look at that. Look how pretty that is. So I will link this in the description below. I bought this on Amazon and I got 5 different blades. So this blade is not exactly the pinking blade, but I like it because it's kind of rounded. But there is a pinking blade in the set that I have bought. Okay, so I think I'm gonna cut from this side so I can see where I've ended right there. I'm just gonna square that up. Again, work really from the top. You're really gonna bear down on that. And that looks really nice. Again, we're just gonna, you can either use your grid or use your ruler. I do a little bit of both, and I don't want to make sure I catch all of this in here, but not cut off too much. If I'm ever not thinking that I went all the way through, you saw that I went back and forth a little bit there. All right. Oh, how cute is that looking? So that just trims everything up and makes it all look good. All right, how cute is that? All right, I'm gonna take it over to the machine and give it a stitch around. I will be right back and show you that. One more thing before we take it to the machine. I just open up that top and I take a little piece of rickrack, ribbon, whatever you like, and glue that in if you need to have it stay there, but it'll stay. I just put that in there so I have a little loop at the top, and now I'm gonna go put that to the machine.